What's going on, guys? Sharpshot here. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. So for today's video, we're going to be doing a tier list ranking the best general survivor perks in DBD. So if you guys don't know what a general perk is, it's basically a perk that every survivor has unlocked. It's not a teachable where you need to unlock it through a specific survivor. It's available in everybody's bloodweb. Currently, as of the 4.7.0 update, there are 14 general survivor perks in DBD. When you're starting out DBD and you don't have any teachables unlocked on any survivors, these are perks that you're going to be using a lot. So I thought it'd be a really cool idea to rank these perks so the beginners will know which of the general perks they should be using. As I usually do with these tier lists, I'm going to explain what each perk does and why I put that perk in the specific tier that it's in. So I'm going to be going in order from best to worst, with S tier being the best of the perks and D tier being the worst of the perks. Each tier going from left to right will also be ranked best to worst. So the leftmost perk in that tier is going to be the best perk, and the rightmost perk is going to be the worst one of that tier. Just a quick side note before we get into the video, the perks in S tier and A tier are the ones that have main build potential that you should keep using after you unlock a ton of teachables, and the B to D tier perks you should only run when you have nothing else on your survivors. But other than that, the B to D tier perks aren't super great. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the video. So the first perk that's going to be on S tier is going to be Spine Chill. Spine Chill is a really good information perk where if the killer is within 36 meters of you and they're looking directly at your direction, the little perk icon in the bottom right lights up, which tells you that the killer is actually looking in your direction. So if the perk is constantly lighting up, this probably means the killer is coming straight at you and you should probably run and get a huge head start in a chase or hide. So this is really good when you're trying to be stealthy. On top of that, when Spine Chill is active, you also get bonus action speeds of up to 6% at tier 3 for a bunch of useful actions like repairing gens, healing, unhooking, unlocking the exit gate, and a ton of other stuff. This is overall a super good information perk that is definitely main build potential. The second perk in S tier is going to be Kindred. Kindred is another really solid information perk that not only benefits you, but it benefits your teammates as well. Whenever a survivor is hooked, you get to see all of the other survivors, and within a 16-meter range of the hook at tier 3, you also get to see the killer if he's inside that range. This is really good because you get to know where the killer is headed off to after hooking. If the killer is camping the hook, if he's leaving, you'll know when it's a good time to actually unhook the survivor. This perk benefits the other survivors because when you're hooked, they get to see each other and the killer within that 16-meter radius. So the other survivors, especially in solo queue, will be a lot more efficient where only one survivor should be getting you and they'll always be getting a safe hook because who would unhook when the killer's in the radius, right? Overall, this is just a great information perk. It makes for a super efficient team in solo queues and benefits your teammates and yourself as well. The third perk that's going to be going on S tier is Will Make It. Will Make It is really simple but really effective. After unhooking someone for 90 seconds at tier 3, your heal speed is increased by 100% when you're healing other people. This is really good because every time you unhook someone, you'll be able to heal them twice as fast right under hook. This means that survivors don't have to run around injured after they get unhooked, so it's a great altruistic perk overall. Moving down to the A tier, the first perk that's going to be on this tier is Resilience. Whenever you're injured at tier 3, you have 9% increased action speed for a bunch of stuff like repairing, healing, sabotaging, unlocking, and a bunch of other stuff. If you manage to stay injured throughout the duration of the trial and you stay away from the killer, you can do gens 9% faster, which actually makes a pretty big difference. This is a really good perk to have that'll make you so much more efficient every game. The second perk that's going to be going on A tier is Small Game. Small Game got completely changed in the most recent update, and now it only tracks totems. I think this is a really useful perk nowadays with the whole Undying and Ruin or Undying Devour Hope combo. Killers are always running a ton of hex perks, so having a perk that can track totems really easily is so powerful to have nowadays in the DBD meta. And if you're running perks like Inner Strength that rely on cleansing totems, it's a really nice perk to have. The new Small Game makes it so that if you're looking within 12 meters at a totem in a 45-degree cone, you get a little sound that tells you that you're looking in the direction of a totem. Every time you cleanse a totem, you'll know how many totems are remaining because each time you cleanse a totem, you get a token, and you can have a maximum of 5 tokens because there's 5 totems that spawn in a match. Yes, the cone decreases by 5 degrees every time you cleanse a totem, but that's not a big deal because within 12 meters, if you get the auditory warning, you should be able to find it really quickly. So it's overall just a great information perk to find totems really easily. Moving down to the B tier, the first perk that's going to be on this tier is Dark Sense. Dark Sense is a pretty interesting information perk where whenever a generator is completed, you get to see the killer for 5 seconds, and then when the last generator is completed at tier 3, you get to see the killer for 10 seconds. So this perk is nice because you get to see where the killer is every time a gen is completed, but if you complete the gen, you don't really need to know where the killer is. Killers won't be coming in your direction because killers usually don't go to a gen that just pops unless they're really close, and you would have already known they were close anyways because of the terror radius. Overall, it's not the worst information perk in the world, but it's definitely not the best either. The second perk on B tier is going to be Hope. Whenever the exit gates are powered, which means all 5 generators have been completed, for 120 seconds, you get at tier 3 a 7% haste, which means you move 7% quicker than your base running speed. This perk can be really clutch if you're in a chase and you move a little faster than you usually would. You can extend chases for a little longer while people are opening exit gates, and it just allows you to move faster if you're going to try and unhook someone before opening the exit gate and stuff like that. So it's pretty useful, but you shouldn't really be running this because there's so many better end game perks. Moving down to C tier, we have No One Left Behind. When an exit gate is opened, No One Left Behind becomes active, and at tier 3 you gain a 15% action speed bonus when you're unhooking and healing other survivors, and all of the auras of the survivors are revealed to you, and you also get 100% more blood points in the altruism category. This perk has a lot going for it, but it is only active when the exit gates are open. Usually you don't really need the extra speed bonus when unhooking, and when you're healing someone, you also don't really need to heal them faster because you're usually going to be healing them behind the scenes. Like, you won't be really pressured by the killer when you're healing someone. Yes, the aura of other survivors is pretty nice, but this perk is mainly used to go back and help someone before escaping, and when this happens, you already know where all of the survivors are. They should all be going back to help, so knowing the aura isn't really that useful because you'll be able to see them anyways because you guys are all going back to help out that one survivor that is hooked. The second perk that's going to be going on the C tier is Plunderer's Instinct. For what the perk is, Plunderer's Instinct is pretty good. Within 32 meters, it lets you see the aura of closed chests and dropped items. If you're trying to get a chest build or something, this is a must-have, but other than that, this isn't really useful because you don't really need to know where chests are. You should be doing gens and trying to unhook people. You shouldn't really be focusing on chests. The third perk that's going to be going on the C tier is Lightweight. Lightweight is really simple. At tier 3, your scratch marks disappear 3 seconds sooner. This isn't super useful because inside of a chase, that 3 seconds won't really make a huge difference unless you have a huge lead, which you could probably just stop running and hide anyways. This isn't a super game-changing or useful perk to run. Moving down to the D tier, the first perk on this tier is Slippery Meat. For those of you that watch my Twitch streams are probably mauling right now that I put Slippery Meat this low, but Slippery Meat grants you 3 extra self-unhook attempts for a total of 6 unhook attempts. It also increases your odds of unhooking yourself by 4% at tier 3. So if you do the math, you have a base self-unhook chance of 4%. So with Slippery Meat, you have 8% chance. And since you have 6 attempts at 8% each time, that basically means in total, you have a 42%. You have a 48% chance of unhooking yourself, unless I'm stupid and I just did the math wrong, but I think it's 48. Having a 48% chance at unhooking yourself is pretty low. It's basically a 1 in 2 chance that you fail and go right into your struggle phase. It's just a perk that has a way bigger risk than the reward itself. So you're just better off in waiting for someone to unhook you or trying your chances at your last self-unhook attempt right before the struggle phase. And other than that, you should just stay away from this perk. The second perk on D tier is This Is Not Happening. When you're injured, your great skill check zones are increased by 30%. So you'll have a pretty fat chunk of your great skill check when you have this perk on, but this perk is pretty much useless because you just have to get good honestly at great skill checks, because this is just an unnecessary perk. You can just get a great skill check without this perk pretty easily if you time it right and have practiced enough. The third perk on D tier is Premonition. This is honestly just a much shittier version of Spine Chill. If you have the option, always run Spine Chill over Premonition. Whenever the killer is looking at you in a 45-degree cone within 36 meters. You get a little sound that pops up. At tier 3, there's even a 30-second cooldown for when this perk is active. Never run this perk, just use Spine Chill instead. The last perk on D tier is Déjà Vu. Déjà Vu is completely useless. It literally just shows you the aura of the 3 closest generators to you at the start of the match for a minute at tier 3. You should already know where to go at the start of the game to find a gen. You just use your eyes and look around for a gen instead of wasting a perk slot on this really bad information perk. So yeah guys, that's been the tier list. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about my rankings of these general perks, and also let me know other tier list ideas you would like to see on the channel. I think these tier lists are super fun. So yeah guys, that's been the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you're new. This has been Sharpshot, and I'll see you guys in the next video.